just
We're not recording, are we? Oh shit!
Yeah.
I didn't know. We don't record. We're just sitting here hanging out talking. I don't know what that big giant thing over there is doing. All right,
what she said.
You already clapped. Didn't you? Sorry.
Okay. All right.
Welcome everybody to another episode of Midnight Movie Distillery.
Whoop, whoop.
I am one of your hosts, Logan Lynch.
I'm another one of your hosts, Warwick Price.
And I'm Lon Black. And today we got brackets, but new brackets that you've been waiting for 2 weeks now.
Absolutely.
We've talked about it for 2 weeks.
Lots of talking.
We're finally getting down to it. What are the brackets?
Less talky, more drinky.
What are these brackets?
They're the 80s horror brackets.
80s horror.
And then $30 or less bourbons.
Correct.
$30 less, because we did the $40 range,
Yep.
35 to 45.
Yep.
It cannot be in the range if it's over $30.
Yes.
Correct.
However, that does include $29.99.
Right, because we're not including tax in it.
I don't think.
Okay.
Did we ever see a bourbon that was exactly $30? I don't
Well,
think I ever did.
that's just it. They don't.
Isn't that a whole marketing thing where it's like the number 9?
It is.
Like,
you put it 1 penny less.
And
Gasoline does that all the time.
Yeah.
They even
and they even do the 9/10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Because I have 9/10 of a penny.
Those fucking.
Yeah.
So
Anyway.
So we'll do the bourbon. We'll say what the bourbons are matching up, and then we'll talk about the movies just to set it up for what happens later in the episode. But the bourbon matchup this week, we're skipping around. You're going to see the brackets, and we're moving around a little bit of brackets. They don't have to be done in order.
Do you want to show the cool graphic that you busted your ass to make?
I do. Should we show it now?
Okay.
We should do that.
I'm going to show it, but
All right,
warning
show it.
everyone,
It's tiny.
Get close to your TV if
Yeah,
you're
it's
actually
tiny.
watching it on YouTube.
So if you look over here, we do have it, but we're not going to do it in order. So like these two over here, Maker's Mark and Beer Barrel, we're not going to jump around. We might jump around to this side and do some of these. It doesn't matter. What we're getting down to is the main. In fact, if we do all on one side, then the other side, it's kind of weird anyway. So right now we're doing Larceny and Jefferson's very small batch. And that's specifically how they tag it, is very small batch.
Yes.
I don't know
It's giving it a complex.
As I do we know what number that actually
We
is?
don't know, but I could look that up. You know why? I have Google.
Yes.
Ooh, he's got the Google.
Talk amongst yourselves.
So then, what movie were we looking at?
So today we're going to be pairing. We already told you what the pairs are, but so today's pairing is the Fly from 1986 and Lost Boys from 1987.
Sorry, I'm trying to. I don't.
Okay.
No, I thought you were going to go into like People Are Strange.
No, there's that too.
Very small batches because it's 25 barrels or less.
Wow.
Wow, that is pretty small.
That's pretty small.
But it's only been aged for like
2 weeks.
3 years and 2 months.
Now, of course, those barrels might be huge.
Huge.
I think they're less
Yeah.
than what typical barrels. What 50 gallons? I don't know.
I don't know.
I should know that. You
I'm
think
not
I'd
up
know
on
that?
my barrels.
I don't either. Okay.
Okay, so are we going to start?
Let's do a little.
Let's do a little sippy sip first.
Let's do a little
All right.
sippy.
Well,
sip.
actually,
I'll let you gentlemen go first since you guys have the better.
I'm going to do a smelly smell.
Oh, like he's doing smelly smells.
I'll do a sniffy sniff if he does a smelly smell.
Oh. I want to see if being with you guys for the last how long? What, year and a half now?
One has
doing
a
this,
very very faint.
then I wonder if it's
nose.
made me a snob. So if this is going to be like
This one's
is
definitely
disgusting.
a stronger nose.
Yep, one's definitely got a stronger nose to it.
This one has a little bit of a paint thinners.
Really?
Pink thinner.
Okay, I'm going to try. I'm going to try the paint thinners.
I
first.
don't smell it. It's very faint smell to me. Both.
Oh, no.
One has more of a smell than the other. But,
This one is definitely more potent.
but now we did have on one of the other episodes where it was very potent smelling, but there was not much, if at all, any burn to it. So.
Okay.
Oh. Lon's looking very.
I've only sipped one sip in on one of the two bourbons.
Okay.
And it had an interesting light, subtle flavor going in. Not very heavy on anything. A little bit more oak maybe than vanilla or anything else. But I got an instant bad breath taste
Really? Okay.
afterwards. When it was done, I feel like my breath stinks now.
Okay. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna go in.
There's this thing called a toothbrush and toothpaste.
prove that or
Lon?
disprove that. Okay.
All right. I have not
Any
had
notes?
anything. I've done only the smell. Have you? Done
Warwick,
your
you got
sips?
any notes?
So this one for me, again, this one is a far fainter smell. This is the one that smells a little bit like paint thinners for me.
Oh, wow.
It's definitely.
There's a huge difference.
This is definitely smoother.
So one of them I noticed is a little bit more robust. It has a lot more of that vanilla, a lot more of the oak, a lot more flavor in general to it than the other one.
This is not very. I don't think this is very flavorful.
One is not very flavorful.
Yeah.
The other one is very flavorful.
I agree on that.
Comparatively.
Do you get a burn on the flavorful one?
A little bit, sure.
I haven't tried
Sure.
the flavorful one yet.
I do get a little
this
burn
one,
on
I didn't get a lot of burn on, but again, that's the one that I didn't feel had a lot of flavor to it. This one has a lot of smell to it.
Yeah, the one that has a lot of smell was the one that was more flavorful. For
Yeah, see, I've got to guess on them only because I've had one of these before and I've never had the other one before. So I think I'm familiar with the flavor of one of them.
Okay.
This other one it's really throwing me off though, man.
Yeah, this one.
I won't say funk, but maybe funk.
This one's a little bit more flavorful, but it also has a little bit more burn to it.
It does. Agreed with that. The lighter flavored one doesn't have as much burn, but there's just something off about it. Maybe not off. Maybe that's a bad way to put it. I don't get as much sweetness.
Sorry.
I get a little more oak as more of a leading flavor on this one. I get a little nuttiness, but not a pleasant nuttiness.
As in for the less flavorful one.
The less flavorful
Yeah,
one.
yeah, I can get that.
The other one has got a lot more flavor with the vanilla. It's got a lot more caramel
Which was
flavor
the one
to
that
it.
gave you the bad breath?
That was the lighter flavored one. Has a lighter on the nose. It's a lot lighter, and on the palate, it's a lot lighter.
And I'm sitting between both of them. Okay, I'm gonna go back to the lighter one.
See, the lighter on the nose seems to have more flavor to me.
Really?
Yeah. Do I have
What
COVID?
flavors are you getting from that? Let's hear the flavors you're getting from that.
Put me on the spot here.
You know, part of
Hold
the
on.
fun with this bourbon thing too, especially if you look at
Well,
like Whiskey
that-
Tribe,
yeah,
is
I've
coming up with weird flavors that you're like, oh my god, yeah, I
Well,
totally
no,
taste it.
it's. I think that's you're training your brain to pick things out that you normally probably wouldn't. You would just drink it. In my case, I would just drink it and go, yeah, that's good or that's bad. Like,
Right.
It's a lot. I've learned a lot now to actually try and explain it. It's just sometimes there's things where I'm like, I don't know, but I don't feel that right now. It's just I've got a lot going through the taste buds that
I will say both of them, having tasted had a couple of sips of both of them. Even the one that I think doesn't have as much flavor, it's not unpleasant.
No,
Correct. Correct.
I use the word
All right.
funk a lot because I get that bad breath taste, but I'm
He
not
likes-
saying it's a bad bourbon.
He's thinking
Right,
like
right.
George Clinton, like the.
Hey, was I thinking?
Yes.
Funk? Okay.
He was not thinking.
No. I think I've already made my decision.
I believe I have too.
I'm
He's still-
I'm vexed.
Oh.
So,
I'm deeply vexed.
like I said, one more has the sweet notes to it. The other one does not. The other one
Yeah.
has more of like, almost like it was not a charred oak. Almost like it was a virgin oak, uncharred, that got more woodsy than it did flavor and vanilla
Yep.
and
Yeah,
oak.
I could see that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I think the one that's way more flavorful is more enjoyable.
Well,
me.
that's, yeah.
I would hope so.
I agree.
Well, no, I
I'm
mean,
with you.
but just just because even though it has more burn,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, but I don't think it's that much more burn.
No,
It's a mild difference.
you're right. It's not an unpleasant burn.
What do you? Let's get guesses. What do you guys think is? Which one do you think? Is
I think
which?
this is the Jefferson,
Okay.
This
and
one
this
meaning
is
the lighter flavored one?
the lighter flavor one is the Jefferson, and the more robust flavor one is the Larceny.
I totally agree with that. I'm guessing the lighter flavored one that has a little bit of that dry funk to it is the Jefferson's. And I think the one that's got more vanilla notes and more caramel to it, a little hotter maybe, but that's fine with me, is the Larceny.
Okay.
And to me, it will be interesting if I'm proven totally wrong with what we just said. But the reason why I say that is because those other Jeffersons that we tried, the 27 and the 28, I also felt had like a little bit like not a lot of flavor to them.
Yep.
Okay.
Like just a little bit like kind of the word
Okay.
the word pale comes to mind.
Sure.
It's like there's flavor there. It's not unpleasant.
It's just it's like it needed maybe another year or two to
Right.
kick
some
it
more
up a
flavor out of
little
it.
extra notch.
And so that's why I'm thinking this is the Jefferson.
Okay.
How about you?
I'm kind of
Logan.
in agreement. I'm going to say my left one I think is the Jefferson, but I
Because it's lighter flavor.
yeah,
Lighter,
but I
lighter.
actually feel this is more pleasant to me than the actual.
Really?
But I feel like this is more of a Larceny, and I feel like this is more in your face. I think, and it's not bad. It's just for me, I would prefer.
So the one with the lighter flavor is
Yeah.
the one you like
Yeah,
better than the
correct.
one that has more of a robust flavor.
Correct.
Really?
Yeah. Which is odd, I understand, but it just, for me right now, I've wanted to already stop drinking the other one.
I'm feeling the same way about.
Actually, I'm the other way around,
What
yeah.
I think is the Jefferson.
Yeah.
So, do we want to do a reveal?
Okay. Yeah, we got it. Let's hear it. Here's my favorite.
So this is my favorite.
Logan.
So for those of those that don't know what we're doing,
we
we
should-
actually are holding up our glasses because we taped A and B. We have boxes in front of us, A and B. The A and B boxes, we don't know what's underneath them. Lon does, but we, the other two of us hid.
But I don't know which
He doesn't
glass
know
is
which one is in his hands.
'Cause
So
they gave me the
we
glass.
put stickers on the bottom, and I'm going to do a big reveal.
Let's start
Okay.
it. Honestly, I've already forgotten
So-
which one I put where. But
Yeah, so I was going to say this. I think is the Jeffersons, and I have it as B.
Oh,
Okay, so that's your
Box B.
favorite is B.
So I think this is Larceny, and I also have it as B.
No shit.
Okay.
This I think is Larceny. I do think this is Jefferson's. This is Larceny. It's a little bit more flavor profile, a little bit more robust, which I think is A.
Okay, we clearly don't know anything.
So I think A is Larceny
Yep. We think B is
and
Jefferson's.
B is Jefferson's.
No,
so
I
chose
I think
Larceny.
B is
I
Jefferson's.
think B is Larceny.
So you and I think that
B is
this
Jeff-
is Larceny and this is Jefferson's.
Correct.
But you just like this one and I like that one.
Correct.
You think just the opposite. You're the only one
Exactly.
amongst us. You think you chose
Somebody's
which one?
got it.
A?
One of
I
us
chose
is
B.
You chose B, but you think it's Larceny.
Correct.
Okay.
One of us has to be right.
No. We're two are going to be right whether
Yes.
which one run, right? I shouldn't say that. Either we're both completely wrong and he's the only one
Yes,
that's right,
that's
or
what I'm
we're
getting.
correct and he's the one that's
Correct.
completely wrong. So
Who's on first?
this should be Jefferson's. That should be Larceny. But either way,
No, that
He thinks.
No.
you think this is Larceny.
that's Larceny.
So for
But
those that
two of
can't
us
see
voted
what we're
that.
touching,
A, they think.
so Logan and
There you
Lon, the
go.
two L's,
There you
LLs,
go.
think that A is Larceny and B is Jefferson.
Correct.
And
But the
Warwick.
difference is I like A, thinking it's Larceny. You like B, thinking it's Jefferson's.
Correct.
And they are both wrong.
Because now Warwick thinks.
Because B is Larceny.
And that's the one he prefers.
Yes.
The B, not
Correct.
Larceny B.
Okay.
Ready?
Ready?
1,
Two.
2, 3.
Mother.
Wow.
Nailed it.
Wow. So we were right.
Yep.
Warwick was completely off the fucking base.
So-
and he prefers Jefferson over Larceny. I am so pissed off that Jefferson, after tasting these two, that Jefferson is the one that's going to be moving on.
Oh, that's right.
You're upset by that, though?
I am because I don't like it.
Okay.
I don't like it at all. I shouldn't say it all.
So
I don't like it.
the funny
enough
thing
to
is
go buy a bottle
I
of
did
it.
feel like, because
Way to go, fucking Warwick.
I don't understand how you can think that the Larceny has more of a flavor than the Jefferson does.
Because it does. That's
Well,
probably why. And he even said the same thing.
It's lighter.
We both say
Lighter.
that Jefferson's is lighter flavor and Larceny has more flavor. He just picked the one that had the lighter flavor.
I just, for some reason,
but
I was
so
being
I'm now
pulled towards
so
it.
I'm saying that this is Jefferson. Well, sorry, this is Jefferson,
Yep.
But you were thinking it was Larceny.
but I don't think this has.
You picked Jefferson.
I love
I
this.
think this has way stronger a flavor than this.
Well, clearly you're full of shit. Because two of us say that you're full of shit.
So there was something that, now this may have been exactly how I felt about the Jefferson's Ocean, is that the first sip I had it, I was like, oh, I could continue to drink this. And that's kind of what I got with this one as well. That wasn't playing into my thoughts on it. I just felt like it's lighter. I just felt
Wow.
like for some reason Larceny was going to be heavy and it would had more of a punch to it, which
It is
felt
darker
like
in color. You
so
can
now,
see that.
is that one? This is 92 proof. Do we know what that is? So Larceny is 92 proof.
Yeah, and being the small batch, technically
should
would
be
give
higher.
it a leg up or different,
Yeah.
different kind of leg. This is 80. This is 83 or 82 proof.
Okay.
Wow.
So only 10.
Yeah, not
Proof difference,
significant.
but-
I mean, so that
So,
could be
so how do
significant.
I feel that this feels hotter? Like a little bit hotter.
You said the more flavorful one was a little hotter.
Yeah, which was turns out to be Jefferson.
Because you're wrong.
That's your tongue. Blame it on your tongue.
I don't know how else to tell you this.
Yeah.
But
Sorry.
we've got two people that picked it, even though we each picked a different one, but we knew which one was which.
Yeah.
Based on lighter flavor, a little bit more sour, more flavorful, a little bit hotter.
Yeah.
I am flabbergasted.
Wait for him to get up and leave.
I will say, I mean, I'm a little upset only because I really don't want to finish my Jeffersons.
Really?
And you both love it. You both prefer
I like it.
prefer it. Yeah, I would say
Yeah,
love
I mean, it's like I don't mind the larceny, but now that I know that it's larceny.
Yeah.
That's just a good
There's just something
classic
about the
bourbon
larceny
flavor
that-
to me. When anybody says
much.
bourbon, the two biggest notes they say are what? The two biggest flavor notes.
Oh, and ooh. No,
Who knows what the two biggest flavor notes for
Vanilla
Vanilla's? Absolutely.
And
one.
oak.
And
Yeah.
oak. And that, to me, has vanilla and oak.
Okay.
Right. And you know why it's vanilla and oak?
I'm assuming because oak is the barrels that it's.
Right. And then the vanilla comes out of the charring process.
Correct. And the soaking into the wood and back and forth, the oak is what gives it that vanilla flavor.
Vanilla.
Okay. Well,
All right, so
I guess
now that one hard thing's out of the way, we've got another hard
we should-
bracket to decide on here.
We got to represent.
Oh, there you
Sorry.
go.
Here we go.
There you go.
All right, just so Jason, so you people don't get upset with us. Jason's representing.
He's here in spirit.
he's here in
Do
spirit.
you remember which one that's from?
That is from
3.
number. I was going to say 3, but
It is 3.
Yes,
it was
because
torn between 3 and 4.
because 2 is the bomb, and then 3 is
got
the end.
sunk in
The
the
end of
lake.
2 is when he's like put in the lake. And,
Before they brought him up from the lake, which was a stupid way to bring it up, but whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
and let's not get into fucking space.
No, let's
Yeah.
not. So movies.
Okay,
oh
movies.
wait. We got to finish our bracket.
Oh yeah,
then.
we got to do the move.
We got to
Should
do
we do the
move.
yodeling like from The Price is Right?
They do
I'm
that?
pissed off at both y'all for this. I'm really,
Can you make it bigger?
I can, because as we go through the brackets,
Yeah,
I'll make them
boom!
bigger.
Look at that.
God, look how important it is.
Yeah.
But it's so fun because I guess
not
I'm still
over
technically disappointed because I didn't think it was Jefferson.
Right, but
Well,
did you
honestly,
want
though-
to pick Larceny or did you
No,
want to pick the
no,
best
but
bourbon?
I wanted to pick the best bourbon.
Okay.
So now the funny thing is you're still continuing to drink it, now, even knowing what it is. It's not. It's
No,
not.
'cause
if
it's
you
still-
didn't get turned off by the name, right?
No,
Like,
no,
that's-
no.
So now you're not like, nah, fuck that.
And the thing is, Jefferson's is not a bad bourbon in general. Ocean's is good with you, but I was a little stigmatized with the fact that the only good one was Voyage 24. And I
Right.
got a little upset by that the other ones didn't pan out.
But
But
if
I've
you-
never had any of the other Jeffersons.
Yeah. No.
I haven't had their
Well,
standard.
we had the rye.
But the rye was a Voyage.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, it was a rye version of 24. Voyage 24
Oh,
specifically.
yeah.
24, 26.
So-
I think that was the 26.
No, that was 24 because that was the whole thing is like 24 had a rye version and a regular version. If you
okay.
didn't pay attention to the color difference, you'd get the wrong one.
Gotcha.
But
Anyway,
point is, I had a stigma against these. I didn't think it would match up. I tasted it. I'm right.
He just wants to be right. I don't think it doesn't matter about taste.
Honestly, it's only because I am in this case.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
All right. all
Okay,
right,
so that's good for that. Let's get back to
We
us.
have movies.
Let's get back to us. There we go.
you
Okay.
All
Hi,
right,
folks.
Sexy back.
Okay.
Yeah. So the movies that we're doing.
was that Justin Timberlake?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was. That was
Okay.
nice little reference there. So the movies we're going to be doing in this bracket, which is this is Sweet 16 technically, right?
Yeah, this is it.
We're starting
This
out.
is the golden era. Golden
The
era.
was The Fly and The Lost Boys.
Yes.
This is a tough one.
Yeah.
I don't even want to. I don't even want to talk about it right now.
Okay.
No, it's more. This is tough because I like both of these movies. I've probably seen them both about the same amount of times, and they are, like you've mentioned before, two different types of movies. It'd be great if you had a vampire movie against a vampire movie, maybe,
Sure.
or even like vampire versus American Werewolf in London, that type of stuff. So Lost Boys versus American Werewolf. But hey, it randomized it, which I'm actually kind of happy about because it makes things harder and it makes our job harder. So I don't know if that's a good
It
thing.
makes
or not,
more
but-
interesting
Yeah.
podcasting.
I hope
It does, yeah.
Hopefully.
I like, Warwick's over there like, yeah, make it like this. Anyway, make it so.
Pros and cons. You got any pros and cons?
So the pros, The Fly is a very. I felt like The Fly was a slower burn, which is kind of typical with Cronenberg.
Maybe in the beginning, maybe early.
Yeah, but it builds up. But whereas I felt like The Lost Boys was kind of more, which it should have been, right? It's teenagers and things like that, so it's got kind of a decent pace. It starts off much more with bigger punch, I guess, if you want to put it that way. And that's what makes it hard for this is I like both of these movies equally. So.
And that's a good matchup then.
Yes, it is.
So for me, I like both of these movies. I will say...
I'm feeling there's a but in there.
I will say that I've seen Lost Boys way more times than I've seen The Fly.
Okay.
And it's like I think
That's a good thought.
I think The Fly has like so many things going for it. It's like and so many just like iconic scenes. It is such a it's one of those movies that, and I'm sure there's probably lots of them, but it's like it is one of those movies where it was a remake of the 50s variant with Vincent Price that I think is way superior to the 50s version. And the special effects are awesome in it. I think the story's great. It's like I think all of the characters are amazing in it. Really there is no fault.
Yeah, there's no bad act.
There's nothing bad about this entire movie, but the problem is putting up against The Lost Boys, which I just think is just. I mean, it's one of these weird movies where it's like, I don't think it quite has the iconic status as a Halloween or Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street.
80s.
But it is an iconic movie, and it's like the soundtrack is just like immense. I mean, just it's
the main song.
Oh God,
was like they
Cry
went to
Little
the
Children.
radio with that
Oh,
song.
God,
Cry
just,
Little-
it's
went to the radio and became a top hit because of that.
well, in fact, I'm sure
Which rarely happens, right? I mean,
It does.
There's
It
not
rarely-
many
that's
movies,
true.
unless there was a song that was already a hit and then put into a movie.
Right. It
but
was like
Right.
a Prince movie or something,
Yep,
which
yep.
he wrote it, and of course it's going to be
Purple Vein.
But it's just like the Lost Boys is just phenomenal. It's like I'm not a Corey's fan.
Okay, so that was the one downside for me.
Yeah, and so here's one of the things I'm sure you probably read up as well. But so Corey Feldman was told by Shoemaker that go watch a slow movie and go watch like a Schwarzenegger movie because we want you to play like this character that's like tough and like what you're doing.
Let's make my voice sound totally
And that's the whole thing. It's like to me like he is the weakest character in it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Just because he's trying to put on this character of he's the tough guy. It's like, and he still has comedic moments in it as well. Which
was first? Was Stand By Me before?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
clearly.
Because he played a tough kid in that. I thought he did a
but
pretty
he
good
didn't
job.
make a fake
and
voice
Kiefer
for it.
Sutherland was in that as well.
Yes, he was.
But he didn't make a fake voice for that. He did his...
Right,
Correct, but that's what I mean.
right.
So why would he do that in Lost Boys?
Again, I think Shoemaker
he's not a good
basically
actor.
said it's like, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Or singer. But anyway, so him out of it, it's... I just think,
And conversely, by the way, I just want to say Corey Haim was actually really good.
oh,
Yes.
he was excellent in it.
So it was really just the Feldman side of the Coreys that was bad.
Right.
So...
Well, and again, to be honest, even the whole Frog Brothers duo, it's like even though they are the comedic sidekick of the story,
Right.
Like they are what really makes this story. They are actually the weakest part, I think, of the story.
I agree. They're the weakest part.
But
they play a role that plays into it. I mean, they seem like they're throwaways at first, but then they do have that knowledge that I think gets brought in that nobody else would have been able
But
to
it's
figure
knowledge
out.
from
Right?
comic books.
Correct.
But-
Which is
and-
funny.
it still works, right?
But that's the funny thing about the story, though, is it's like they show up at this town, Santa
Clarita.
Clara.
Santa Clara, yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it's a fake.
Yes.
Santa
Yes,
Clarita.
yes.
Well, Santa Cruz is where it's filmed.
Yeah, but they weren't they can't say Santa Clarita because there is a Santa Clarita.
Right, but that's in the valley, so.
Right. Oh, well, that makes a big difference to people who don't fucking
Like,
live in.
oh my
Santa
God,
Clarita.
like
in the
I've never
valley.
been there.
Yeah, I was in the Galleria. But anyway, but so the point is like, so they show up and he meets these kids, and even though they give him the comic to talk about like, oh yeah, beware that there's vampires, they don't really know much more than that.
No.
You know, in other words, they don't know, like clearly they haven't investigated enough for David and his cohorts to come after them.
Right.
So it's just
So why did they hunt them?
or why are they like vampire hunters?
Right. I honestly think it's because they were delusional and they thought they're
They're
super
just
vampire
kids. I
hunters.
mean,
They're
yeah,
kids
think
being
about it.
stupid
Like,
kids.
I used to think I was, a truck driver or something. You know, I get a feeling that's kind of how it was. Is it's like, ooh, we read this comic book. I want to be that
Right.
Sure.
right? And
Right.
I think that's how I took it, was that they were, well, yeah, we know a lot about this stuff because we read a few books. Like, that's how most people are, right? You think you know everything because you read 2 books
Agreed.
on something.
Agreed.
But
Whether they're comic books or actual books.
But so for me, like take the Frog Brothers out of it, and again, I think they are an important part of the story.
Ribbit.
Gone.
Gone.
It's the story is just phenomenal. It is a great story that doesn't really have many, not none, but doesn't have many plot holes in it. I think the acting is great, apart from Corey Feldman, and I think
whoever his brother was, I didn't think he
yeah.
did very well either.
Well, that was his first movie. I think Keith Sutherland was amazing.
Yep.
And let's just have a major shout out for Jamie Gertz. Who,
just adorable.
honestly, just it's like
Yeah.
in that white top and
Yeah.
when he first sees her on the beach.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ.
Oh my God. She
Anyway.
only did like a handful of movies around that time.
She doesn't need to
do
do much.
No.
She's a billionaire now.
Yeah, because
Why?
she's married to
I thought she's got her own, she did her own stuff too, though.
right, but she got money because she's married to some like not Nike, but like some executive that like had money and then she went off and did her own thing, and so like she's like a multi-millionaire.
Wow.
Anyway,
Oh, fuck me.
so for me,
Are you going to pick already?
no, okay, well you go.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to throw this out then. That's fine. We can pick it. Because I can say my spiel after you pick too. To me, the Lost Boys was like the crowning achievement of the 80s in fashion.
Yes.
There was so much fucking 80s fashion in
Yeah.
that. The vampire, the little kid with the double-breasted jacket.
And to think about, it's hotter than fuck over there. Like, I don't
Yeah.
care if it's at night.
But
It's still
was
probably in
supposed
the
to be
high
like,
60s.
It was supposed to be like more like in the colder temperatures.
Right.
Still.
So I don't know if they're pretending that that's in
But
Northern
wearing a trench
California
coat
area or
and-
Southern
yeah.
California.
Well, it is.
That's
Yeah,
true.
it is northern California, but
Okay,
yeah.
so that's just it. So they're
And they're by the coast. It gets colder in the
but,
evenings.
you know, and they're
They're
on the
bats.
and I
They're
loved
crazy.
it was one of those things like looking at what we would assume the quintessential 80s California town would be. Carnivals on the boardwalk
Boardwalks,
every fucking
yeah.
night. Beach bonfires all the time with
And
motorcycles.
like
drinking.
concerts and
Concerts everywhere with musicians that are half naked.
Half
Like
naked,
play-
playing
playing
saxophone
saxophone.
with chains and things. Yeah.
Okay, I will say
I
that.
still believe.
That scene was a downfall for that movie.
Hey, that guy is super famous from that.
I don't know, super famous.
He is.
He
Everybody
plays it up in
knows it. He
conventions.
was
He
the
plays it
original
up at
saxophone
conventions.
guy meme, right?
Yes.
Like, yeah. So.
And honestly, I was not getting into that. But it was like there was a party all the time, and then there's caves, and all the caves happen to have a hotel that collapsed inside of a cave. So it was kind of like the 80s dream world,
Yes.
really. Right? California, coastal, boardwalk. So much so, it's like, at one point, it almost was like unbelievable. Like, it was a little bit too made up in the fashion. Everybody had all this money for the motorcycles and fashion, but nobody worked. Nobody had a job.
Because they're
selling
vampires.
Well,
comic
they were
books.
killing people, so they're probably
Yeah.
stealing their money.
But the story was good. The story was good with the you never knew if everybody assumed that the head vampire was I forget his name already.
David.
What it was David, and then you're like, no, he can't be because he passed all these tests. No, he is, and then it's like
that guy. Yeah, sorry.
not David. David was the kid.
Guy with the glasses.
The guy with the glasses. The head vampire.
Yeah, sorry, wrong one. Yeah, the guy who actually was the.
He was the head vampire. He started dating the mom. He was dating the mom for
Max.
Max. Yep.
Yes.
So I give props to that. I did have a problem with the Feldman, Corey, and his brother. And I do think a lot of the scenes were a little over the top. But when you look at that, if you ever want to tell your kids, well, if they ever ask you, what were the 80s like? You show them that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that and a whole bunch of the
And Pretty in
Hughes
Pink
movies,
and
you know, all the John Hughes movies.
I would show my
But-
kids The Fly. No, I'm just kidding.
But, so conversely, The Fly, however, I love Cronenberg.
Oh, so do I.
And man, the ending 10 minutes of that movie was Cronenberg glory
Yep.
because of what he did. But to me, that one was suspenseful. You were nervous the whole time. You were like on the edge of your seat because the first thing I thought would be, the first time I saw this movie, when he got in the teleporter, I thought, well, what happens if something gets in there with you?
Yes.
And then the whole premise is the fly gets there with you.
I liked the setup for that as well. How the monkeys kind of swatting it away.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause They're like,
Right.
well, there's no flies in there. That he
It
seems
was
pretty clean, and
masterfully
then
made because of that.
Yeah.
So the difficulty part, and just to keep going on that thread, the whole fact of the fly taking over, and him getting stronger, and then he was like a superhero because he had the fly strength, but then he started having to regurgitate to eat his food, and body parts started falling off. And
Right.
I thought that was masterfully planned the way it was just. I don't know this is the same story, it's a remake, but they changed it a little bit. They
Yep.
updated it. So it was just so well done. The storytelling was also masterfully done. This is a classic movie for a reason. It's on the list for a reason. It was masterful. And Lost Boys was iconic for the 80s, but a completely different. It's crowded. There's people everywhere. It's parties everywhere. There's barely any personal time. But I love the scene where they're dropping off the bridge, and you're like, what? They're dropping off. I mean, this is a tough matchup.
It is. Well, and to your point of the fly though, so they did make some changes because one of the big changes was the fact that the transformation that Brundlefly went through. It's the, I don't know how many levels there are, the multiple levels of grief, right?
Yes.
Because it's like, initially he doesn't believe.
Right.
Like he doesn't believe there's anything wrong.
denial.
And then all of a sudden he goes, okay, well, I accept it. And Jesus, this is amazing. Like, look how strong I am. I'm so virile. I can have sex for like hours and hours and hours and do all this stuff. And I can drink and drink and drink and it doesn't affect me and all this stuff.
And I could break a dude's arm.
Yes.
Yeah, just,
Arm wrestling.
Oh
So
my
fucking
God.
amazing.
steal his
Great
girlfriend.
scene.
He used to, who
Great
was
scene.
like fucking ugly looking.
Yeah.
But she did have a pretty nice figure.
Granted,
Yeah.
he was turning into a fly. So
That's true. But the boys and then the I can't remember what the next level is. But anyway, but then the realization that it's like, oh shit, no, I'm turning into the fly.
Yep.
Like the
But only after he analyzed it and had the machine tell him that
right. What and
Brundle
I
and Fly became Brundle.
I did love that. I did love the fact that like even when he looked in it, he goes, oh, there was a fly in there. Okay, well, what do I need to do?
Absorb it?
Like, yeah, did I absorb it? He's like, no. No, you're merging.
You're
Okay,
merged.
but no, it's not the fly merging into you.
Right.
You're merging into the fly.
And that was the whole screen where it's like, even though it was like 1980s war games
Right.
technology, when they had the little fragment of the cell and they kept backing off from it,
Yeah.
backing off.
Yeah,
And
the
that
fly.
then all of a sudden you see
That
this
was a
thing, you're
great
like, what is
reveal.
that? And then you fly, it's a fly. You're like, oh my God. That was cool.
Yes, I mean, I do think it's one of these things where,
That was an
you know,
awesome scene.
if he truly is as smart as he was supposed to be, and he wrote the software, you would think he would have warnings in there
Well-
that would say, "Hey, there's something else in there with
Yeah.
you."
But that's just it. He even said at the beginning, he's like, I didn't
still-
create it.
yeah.
I had this guy build me a this and this guy build
And
me a
it's
that.
still learning as
And
well.
It's still
Like
learning.
he is, yeah.
So he had to teach it what flesh was.
Yeah.
That's the whole steak thing.
Right.
Well,
It's
and
fake.
And to Warwick's saying too, though, like he should have said, merge complete or something, and that should have drawn his attention to it.
I think
but
it did.
Like,
didn't
so-
no,
it?
it just said
So no,
teleportation complete or whatever.
but right before that, there's a part where it does analysis. It gives
Yes.
the analysis. There is a part right at the very end where it says like like foreign body or
Yeah, like
Yeah, it did.
it says like
or
0.000 kilograms or something
right,
like that. yeah.
something like that.
Right,
and
right,
then,
when
and
he
then
was
it
listing
says
out the makeup of
and then it
Which
says
and that's what I did like about the film too was I like the fact that he went back and had to figure it out. Like he didn't know, like instantly he didn't go, that looks like a fly or something, and then kind of go from that. He just, he had to figure it out. And then when he does figure it out, I liked the joke when he says, it was, I was trying to make a teleportation device and I ended up making a gene splicer.
Right.
Like I thought that was kind of cool because he's like, look what I did. He's still being the scientist even though he's like, falling to pieces.
Right,
and stuff,
but even then he was all about like, all right, I'm dying and falling to pieces. What can I learn from this?
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
What does this mean? Oh, I got a gene splicer. That's cool.
But
when he puked down the doors, he goes, "Oh, sorry, that was gross."
but then it's like then he goes back into like the crazy mode a little bit because then he starts realizing or he starts thinking, okay, well, maybe I can, especially when he finds out she's pregnant. It's like maybe I can become more whole by merging more humans
But think about
together.
It. A fly was this big, and he's Jeff Goldblum, and if that didn't do it, more human tissue ain't gonna do it. The fly seems to always take over.
So one interesting thing I did with you guys.
I don't know what this meant, but that's what.
read it. So the baboon that they had there. So when they were originally
it ate Gina Davis's face off, didn't it?
No. So when they were doing like kind of training with the baboon and stuff, other people on the set, the baboon would get like angry with. The baboon did not like Gina Davis. Didn't like her.
Really?
Didn't like her at all.
Love Jeff Goldblum.
Because he's 6'4". And so
Gina Davis is pretty tall.
But I think
feet.
it's the whole female thing. It's like it picks up on that. But so the trainer said it's Jeff Goldblum. The baboon felt like dominance. Sorry, Jeff Goldblum was dominant over the baboon, and so that's like typically in a I was supposed to say a herd, in a pack, like in a pack of baboons. It's like you always follow like the bigger one. And so that's why Jeff Goldblum had no problem working with the baboon, and even to the point where it's like it jumped up on him like on command, and there was no like I'm going to jump up on you and then eat your face.
Yeah, it was you like me.
Yeah,
hold me.
Group of baboons is called a collective.
A collective.
Oh, the collective.
There you go.
It's a collective of baboons.
Oh,
the more you know.
Thank you, Google.
So
okay, well, let's hear it,
I think
folks.
we need to make a decision.
I think so too, because I'm out of bourbon.
So I do want to qualify one of the things I said though, because I think this is I still know which one I'm going to pick, but I do think this is going to be one of those for me. One of those picks that I'm going to pick the movie that I feel is my favorite movie.
Well, that's good because that's what we're here to do.
But in other words, like your points about The Fly, which I said
now you're giving away what you're picking. Go ahead, it's okay. We're gonna have to do it sometime.
Sorry, I picked The Lost Boys.
There you go.
Okay. Go finish your thought now.
But the point being the fact that it's like, and I picked it because it is out of the two, it is my favorite movie.
Yeah.
But I think if I really were to put them side by side, and like, point individual parts about it, The Fly probably is a better movie. But I think The Lost Boys is my favorite movie.
So, to me, I love them both. This was not an easy decision.
Totally.
But I did already make my decision when we were starting to talk about these. The Lost Boys is a quintessential 80s movie. I really wasn't scared or intense or anything by that. It was cool because when the vampires turned, and it was cool to see who changed, who was the leader. A little mystery going on there. And the fashion was good.
And the holy water in the face, that was kind of cool.
Awesome. Yeah, that was funny stuff.
I mean,
and the squirt gun.
with the squirt guns. I mean, it was all funny. It had all those memorable earmarks of a fun movie as well. I didn't get scared at all by it. It was not very horrific to me. The Fly scared the shit out of me. The Fly was intense. No, you had your time. Shut the fuck up. The Fly was intense. The Fly was terrifying. The Fly had the gore factor, the puking, regurgitating, and dissolving the dude's hand, and then dissolving his leg, and he's still trying to get a shotgun in the guy's face.
And he's in the sequel.
Well, armless and legless. But the point is, he was, and the acting of Jeff Goldblum. Can we just say? That was a masterful performance with his little
it really was.
ticks and stuff. The way
and you know why he did that?
Why?
Because the I can't remember the guy.
That'd be a fly jittery thing.
No. What it is, and I can't remember what the guy's name is now. But the guy who it was the creature creator, the guy who actually
Stan Winston.
No. Tommy Wallace.
Yeah, Tommy Wallace.
Tony would be, but
Tommy.
No. Anyway, you're looking up.
I'm thinking of Halloween, probably.
But so he said it's like, in order for the puppet to be more believable, if there were certain characteristics that you kind of build into it as it's being going through the transformation, then we can kind of put that into to the end character.
Yep.
And so that's where those ticks came from. The ticks came from the fact that it's.
Okay. No, I didn't find it.
Oh, sorry.
I was reacting to what you were saying.
But so that's why he did the ticks, because the ticks enabled him to then say,
Chris Wallace.
Chris Wallace. There you go. You see the continuity of like the transformation.
Sure. So it's still the same person.
Right.
In a sense, right?
But it gave you the. It was upsetting when you watch it and his teeth start falling out and his nails start coming off, and it was gross because he's like taking off the nails and the teeth and his reaction
and the pus.
And the pus, squeezing the pus on the mirror.
What? But that was the weird part, because I'm like, okay, I get the fact that like the nails come up, but where did the pus? Because the pus came from like up here.
It became behind the nail or whatever. Yeah.
So my question with that was, I'm assuming that's some sort of a fly thing, because flies, aren't they always like wiping their hands off? Maybe they've got some secretion.
Do. I don't know if that's what they were talking about.
Maybe that's what they were trying. Is like, look, it's like. Because when he was arm wrestling the guy, there was stuff that was coming out of his hand.
Yeah,
at
that's
that point,
white stuff.
Right.
Yeah,
but true. I think that was more or less like his body rejecting the fly, or the fly rejecting the body.
Okay.
Kind of pus
sort of like a saliva
separating the fly that was growing inside the body. But bottom line, I chose the fly.
Ooh, no pressure.
No
on you.
pressure on me.
And that's why I wanted to go second, because I knew mine was opposite of his, so you have the tiebreaker.
So
you
this
will
is
be hated by one of us.
Oh, I'm going to be hated by everybody. Yeah. No, this
was a big Halloween.
Yeah. Fuck you guys. Not even on the list.
It's a write-in.
Tune in next time for anyway. No, this was really one of the hardest decisions, because I do love The Lost Boys. It's something you grew up with, that you can, anytime it's on, you watch it. But and I'm not much of a gore hound, so to me, the Fly being Cronenberg and stuff, I like that. I was anticipating that much gore, but in the end, I feel that Lost Boys is a great movie, but I'm gonna go with The Fly.
No,
fucking ain't right. He is.
The Fly was just, to me.
It was masterfully made.
Yes, and
it's not just being a good.
And the funny thing is when I saw this, it was what, 88, so I was younger, but it was the slow burn. That's kind of, I don't want to say it's like one of the first movies that had the slow burn, but it was enough that I felt like you saw his transformation.
I don't even think it's a slow burn, because stuff happens all the time. It's just not epic stuff happening all the time.
Correct, and that's what I felt like the Lost Boys. There was, like you said, there was too many people involved, and so granted, it's great for keeping the pace going, but I liked I'm going to call it slowness of the Fly and the focus on the main characters. Right?
I think the point is, it's like at the end of the day, with the Fly, and notice I'm being conciliatory in it's like
because he doesn't want to get beat up in the parking lot.
No, I still think that The Lost Boys is the better out of the two. But the point is, like, The Fly is an awesome movie. I mean, it's a great movie.
This was a tough matchup.
But to your slowness, it's like.
Your slowness.
Not
to your mental capacity.
Yeah, thanks.
In the way you speak.
Which way did it go, George?
The slowness that you mentioned about the movie. I think they had to do it that way, right? In other words, it's
absolutely,
like,
because it was a payoff at the end.
Right, it's like number one, otherwise it would be a 20-minute movie. But just, it's like part of the enjoyment was seeing that translation.
Transformation.
The transformation.
Okay, let me help you out with English.
The other interesting thing is, so when the movie came out, it was right in the middle of the AIDS epidemic.
Okay.
and that first scene when he's looking in the mirror,
Yeah.
and he has like lesions all over his face.
Yeah.
And that's when he first starts realizing that like he is transforming.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought that was put in there
As a reference.
as like a reference to be AIDS, and Cronenberg was like, no.
Is it
Yeah.
like
Is
puberty?
that the only
No.
disease?
It was really just simply like cancer,
Right.
like just disease in general.
Right,
It wasn't
right.
It,
Body
it,
rejecting other parts of the body.
right. It was never supposed to be anything like specific for AIDS.
Interesting. And I do want to say this too, that was another deciding factor for me that I wanted to complain about with Lost Boys. And again, great movie. They're both great movies. I really do enjoy them both. But if you're a vampire and leader of your own vampire pack, are vampires packs? Your own coven of vampires.
It's another
whatever.
collective.
Oh, yeah. If some dude's hitting on your chick, why do you make him a vampire? Why do you make him one of you? Why do you give him that
remember,
strength?
Keep your friends close, but keep your enemies
But
close.
David
That's
didn't.
bullshit. What do you mean David didn't?
Oh, sorry, no, he
He
did
was
because he
turned
did
into a
the drag.
vampire almost right away.
But it was because
Before they even knew who the
because-
fuck he was.
Because Michael was going to be what's her name's first victim. Kill.
But then why make him a vampire? He was supposed to be a kill. Why did they turn him into a vampire? Because
That's
they
a good
very
point.
specifically turned him into a vampire. Now you're one of us.
So,
Why?
Could it have been he?
You hate the guy.
Because you want a strong pack, though, too, right? Like,
Right,
I'm
but
So
sure.
why
but
you
he
put
was
people
gonna
who want
kill
to
him.
take over?
Because I don't
Maybe,
vampires don't
but
drink vampire blood.
No, but that's where, like, if you have, you might be the leader, but he's bringing him on, so he's going to always have that over him. Hey, I created you, right? Even if he's stronger
And
than
you
him.
see how well that worked out for him?
Hey, well, he probably wasn't
I don't
assuming
think that
he was
it
that
all.
much stronger.
I don't
than
think that
him,
was
but-
it at all. I think that he turned him into a vampire, drank him out of that bottle, drank the blood or whatever, turned him into a vampire when he was supposed to be a victim. Like right off
Could
the
it-
bat, he changed him
But-
into a vampire.
but
You
also-
don't do that.
but also
this
the
guy's
point
gonna
is,
live
it's
forever
like-
with you guys.
But vampire.
Why have a dick in your
doesn't he
pack?
need to like? Doesn't he need?
There's plenty of them.
Doesn't he need to like actually bite someone to become the vampire?
He drank the blood. He drank the blood out of the bottle. Remember that bottle?
I know the bottle.
Okay, well,
but
then
the
he
point
drank
is
the
like,
Well,
but that's not how vampires
could
work.
he have-
But that's how he became a vampire.
Could that can that transformation have possibly killed him? Maybe he was hoping that he wouldn't actually transform fully.
Really?
I don't know. I
Really?
don't know. We're getting
Logan,
into lore
Logan,
of
really?
Lost Boys. I don't.
That's what you
fucking know.
think is when he thought it was going to overdose
He
him?
was hoping. No,
Why
not
just rip
overdose.
his
He was
fucking
hoping because
throat
look, he
out?
went through all that stuff. He's like,
Just rip his throat out.
By the way, do you
because
want?
you want to bang him? I don't know. Maybe he had. There was a little.
By the way, do you want to know something really interesting
Sure.
about The Fly?
Did it
Okay.
get zipped up?
What?
No.
Sorry.
So Jeff Goldblum
Yeah.
was also in another movie.
He was in a lot of movies.
But he was in another movie that we reviewed as part of our 70s
Yeah.
series.
Yeah, there's Body Snatchers.
Yeah. But I thought that was just interesting, the fact it was in,
okay.
that he made it into two of our.
Say, and
okay.
they're both
I
about
get you.
transformation.
Yeah.
Transforming the body.
Okay.
And Tim Burton was originally supposed to direct the movie.
The Fly?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm
glad
so
it didn't end up
Cronenberg
that
got
way.
it. Yeah.
See, I think it would have been interesting to see
It'd have
Tim
been
Burton's take.
cutesy.
It would have been.
too
It would have been cuter. It probably would. It certainly wouldn't have been as gory.
Could have been like Buzz Buzz or something. like that.
Well,
It would have been a dance number.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it would have been more like Men in Black with like the insect at the beginning and stuff. I actually have two questions.
Trivia?
I have two trivia. Just
Okay.
just on the fly because I didn't.
Let's hear it.
Do you know what the make and model of Stathis' car was? As in like the
Staffus?
Stathis. He's
The
the
grandpa or whatever.
no
Oh.
on the fly.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The guy, the publisher guy.
Yeah.
He had, I believe it was a Jaguar.
No.
A Jaguar?
It wasn't that.
No.
Because that's how you guys
Jaguar.
say it.
No, it was. Oh God. Was it gold? It was like goldish brown colored, wasn't it? Or am I completely?
I think
No,
it was like
he
it was like
mentioned
it was
it.
like a.
Or was that
sil-
her car? Maybe I'm thinking
No,
of her
no,
car.
the publisher,
Yeah.
her boss.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're right. That was a very distinctive car.
Oh God.
And
It's a
Because
very.
it was when he was
mentioned
watching her
it's a-
come out of what's his name?
Right. It's
Was it a Mercedes?
No.
No, it was much more obscure. No,
Begins
more
with M.
It was a
Mercury?
No.
Mercury.
It was Mercury Saber. No. It was the Italian one.
Yes.
It was a.
Monte Carlo.
No. Hang on a second. I got to listen to George Carlin talk about it because he talks about it. A dwarf paralyzed nun driving one.
Okay.
Somebody knows what I'm talking about.
Somebody's making a connection there.
Maserati.
Does it do 185?
My Maserati.
There you go.
185.
So it's a Maserati Quattroporte 3.
Okay. Well.
But do you know what the do you remember what the license plate was?
No.
What-
Logan.
Particle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because of course he
Dick, I thought I'd stumped you.
because he worked
Took
at
me a second.
Particle magazine.
Well, that's what I was.
get it.
I was kind of pissed because at first he pulls up. I'm like, Particle. I'm like, he's a magazine publisher, and I'm like, I don't really know what magazine it
There you
is.
go.
And then
Particle.
you do eventually find out.
But the other interesting thing, of course, is Particle has 8 characters.
Yeah.
Does the movie have 8 characters?
No,
License
but
plates
license
don't have
plate only
8
have 7 characters.
Oh,
Anyway, so that was
just cut off the E.
that was the only
That
one
is-
that
that is
I
cool.
had.
Part of
That's
Cal.
pretty good, actually. I like
So
it.
the other interesting things that we often talk about for these things. So the Fly budget was $15 million.
Okay.
It was Cronenberg's first feature
Major
film,
film, yeah.
and it grossed $40 million.
Nice.
Lost Boys budget was $8.5 million, and it grossed $32 million.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because that became a.
And
80s
and
looking
that's
movie.
and that's not doesn't include VHS, because I guaranteed VHS
Sure.
Lost Boys probably.
went like through the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Fly did too. Fly was very well known for that. I mean, Fly
Yeah,
was very well
yeah,
known.
I remember the cover. I mean, because
It just didn't stylistically look like an 80s movie.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
Lost Boys was all about looking like the height of 80s fashion, just the hair and the clothing.
well, and actually, even to the point you said before, the other thing that's interesting about The Fly is in reality, there's probably 4 locations.
Yeah.
Like maybe
Yeah.
5 locations in
Yeah,
this whole
you're
thing.
right.
Like almost the entire
Cave, the boardwalk. Grandpa's house.
No, in The Fly.
The Fly.
Oh,
It's in the
No,
Fly.
'cause-
same with the other one too, though.
No, but Lost Boys had but they're all over the boardwalk, like, you know, and
They're in the comic shop and they're in the VHS.
the comic shop, which is a real comic shop, by the way. And it's
But it's a fictional town. How can it be a real?
no, because in Santa Cruz, it's
There is an actual-
it's
yeah.
that was actually a real comic book shop, and the part where you see them walking in this and there's pinball machines in the background.
Yeah.
The owner of the comic book shop is playing pinball.
Aw.
That comic book shop is no longer there, nor is the house of Max because of the Loma Prieta earthquake.
Oh, no shit. Oh, that's kind of
They got destroyed.
I was going to say cool, but that's not cool.
Yeah.
The comic book got rebuilt in downtown Santa Cruz.
So,
Okay.
let's bracket it up.
Bracket it
So
up.
We have a winner.
Bracket it up.
Let me get
So
it first.
Lost
Let me
Boys for
get
the
it
win.
first.
We got a
You
black
switched too
screen.
soon.
Oh, wait,
now
there it
I'm
is.
ready.
Sorry,
Wait,
everyone.
All right.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
Oh, now
Wait,
see
wait,
what's
hold
happening.
on,
Do you
hold
see
on.
what's happening?
I haven't
You
switched it over.
see, you messed it up.
That's what you get for
Seriously.
using a Mac.
Yeah.
No, it's not because you switched over before I was ready. Okay.
All right.
Flying the
Okay.
Lost Boys.
Lost Boys for the win.
I believe
Not.
the Fly is the winner here. And unfortunately, these I can't enlarge too much
And
because,
biggin. Yeah.
because it's like you run out of room. It's a horizontal thing.
Sure.
Yes.
But
Horizontal.
the Fly is it, man.
The Fly is
Wow.
moving on.
The Fly is moving on. It's
It's
well
moving
deserved. I
on.
don't think there was a.
That was a
bad
tough
choice.
one.
It was.
That was.
I could have got, like, literally, that was a 49-51 for me.
Yeah,
you know,
agreed.
and I went Lost Boys just because it is a more. I've watched it so many more times. It is a very favorite movie of mine.
Right, and literally, as we now know that you lost then in Bourbon and a movie. Just want to point that
Don't
out.
trust Warwick.
Hey,
Don't mean anything specific
we're
about
we're
it.
all winners.
Just saying.
I was going to say that's true.
You lost
We
both.
are. We do.
All right, well, thanks
Cool.
for coming, everybody. So we got another bracket. Dude, this is going to be long. Sit down, hunker down.
Yeah, it's
Get
gonna
ready
be good.
for all these episodes coming up because we got a lot of them. There's a lot of freaking movies that we're watching.
Yep. As we always say, like, this is going to be another 8 episodes. How many? Oh my God.
8, yeah.
No, because there's
16.
16.
16. So that goes down to 8. So 7.
One,
then
2, 3, 4.
So technically,
eight
9
minimum
because we have the one
episodes.
we just did
9,
prior to that.
10,
The
11,
announcement.
12, 13, 14 episodes.
Math.
Yeah.
A lot. There's a lot of episodes, but
Yeah.
but we obviously are looking for ideas on what the next
Always.
episodes are going to be after
Always.
that. Do you like the brackets? Is this something you want us to keep doing? It's fun for us because we get to drink a lot more bourbon.
And what did we get wrong? Did we both pick the wrong one and Warwick was right?
We don't think so, but
why don't you let us know?
At the end,
could chime in.
at the end of the day, as Lon always says. Actually, I don't remember what Lon always says, but he says something
about bourbon specifically.
Yes.
The best bourbon is the one you like the way you like it.
the best
And that's
movie
not mine.
is
What
the
he
movie
said.
you
That's
like.
from Whiskey Tribe. Copyright Whiskey Tribe. Hashtag Whiskey Tribe.
Anyway.
Didn't they do that a lot? They did that like
Yeah, they used to.
10 years
It's
ago.
like-
They used to do that.
But anyway, so the point is, I still picked the one that I liked.
There you go.
Which was wrong. And thanks for coming, everybody.
Okay.
Appreciate
Social
it.
media.
All around.
Watch us again next week. Comment, subscribe, like,
Everything.
all those things.
All the things.
And somebody sponsor us, please.
Please
We're
sponsor
going
us.
broke.
Yeah.
Hey, serious question. Comment wherever you want to comment. Hopefully on something that we can read. If we were to set up a Patreon account,
To help us
Um,
with the whiskey.
what kind of things would you want
Agreed.
to get out of the extra benefit?
The money you're putting in.
And don't say you want us to send you some bourbon because that's, logistically impossible. But
and probably illegal. But seriously, it's like what a lot of other podcasts do is they do special episodes that are only available for Patreon subscribers.
which we've got them sitting in the can.
Yeah.
Sitting in the can ready
So-
to distribute.
Or the
Let-
bottle.
Yeah, preferably the bottle. I don't like drinking
better.
bourbon out of a
Much
can.
better. Do they have
Um,
bourbon in a can?
They
have
do.
moonshine in a can.
I'm sure
They
do.
have bourbon in a can. I've seen. They're like.
Really?
I think they're pre-mixed drinks.
Oh, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
so
not
it's
talking like soda can, pop can. But anyway, okay.
Anyway.
All right.
Let us know
Yep.
if it's something that you would like to somehow contribute to, and you'd like to get something out of.
It's contribute. He just said contribute.
Contribute.
Like compost.
Contribute.
Contribute, whatever.
Thanks for coming,
I can't
everybody.
trip you either.
Social media over Logan's face. Like we like it. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, everyone.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Wait, that was bad. Let me try it again.
There it
we
is.
go.